Hello. Welcome to the stream, Rad. Don't question all the oil I have. I just have a lot of oil. Nice. I'm about to do the day 63 horde. I actually ended up playing for a lot longer than what I wanted, so I ended up getting very close to the horde. So I'm not gonna fuck around with it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna use the AK to do the horde. I'm probably gonna try to not talk all too much since I am still not feeling all too well. So I'd prefer to not really talk all too much, just especially because of my throat. And now it's gonna set up the horde now. That's good. Oh, what? An early white? Also, believe it or not, before this horde started, I ended up fighting like a million fucking screamers. But good luck on your base, Rad. You're gonna need, considering that you constantly fucking die. I didn't mean to blast that. I will back up though, just in case there's any cops. Yeah, those will be the main things that kill you because of the fact that they explode. So it does make sense that you die to land into a car. That refreshed that, didn't it? No, it didn't. I've also been sneezing a lot as well, so I'll probably have a cold or some shit. Which doesn't help with the fact that I had a sore throat. Probably at some point I may go back to Navezgane, since I do really enjoy playing on Navezgane. But I also do enjoy the random spawns. Damn, all you fat bitch. I will need to try to be careful of me of swearing, since you know, YouTube and all. Yeah, no. If you're gonna do that shit, I'm just gonna unload. the fucker. If I see that a zombie's body lands on top of another, I will try to harvest it, or at least loot it. So it won't result in the situation where I lose the loot completely. Because as you probably know from the stream so much, I don't like losing the loot. And now this is a situation worthy enough for us to do this. Yeah, what I'd probably say you do, if you're just collecting it, which especially since I love collecting level 6 weapons, but after a certain point, it's better just to have like at least only one copy of them. So it's probably going to be pretty unlikely they're gonna make use of many. But even then, that's the beauty of the guns, is the fact that when you repair them, they don't take permanent damage. Got to remember here as well that I did break my legs. So I'm very sure if a zombie hits a crawler, or a crawler zombie hits us too much, it may break my leg. But I'm not sure. You just spawned. No, I don't have scavenging 100 yet. Shockingly enough, which I'm actually kind of surprised about myself, to be honest with you. Yeah, I would have had it ages ago if I did even more looting, but that would have required me sacrificing trainers to loot. Oh, no, Patch, I can't. Patch, I would love to have you in the room, but since you immediately backed away there, I'm not wasting hearing of having copyright shit be put on the screen and having copyright strikes for it. I'd prefer to not deal with that. Thank you. Rad, do you know what kids and his missus are doing? I actually expect them to actually do their done already. There, take that to the head somehow. But yeah, I'm still probably gonna be quieter than I normally am, even though I am usually pretty quiet on Steam. But I will probably consistently be quiet this game, and I didn't mean to be so late. I just ended up watching a bit too much YouTube myself. Damn, the game is sending a lot of this guy. Okay, game, please. You're not gonna see that. I'm taking that part. I will keep the particulars I've just got out on us, just for when dogs show up. Do that and just kill him. What? You find more Mega Crush than I have in this entire fucking world? Where can you find Mega Crush again? I may have not been looking in those containers, I have it. I know there can be sort of vending machines as well, but I'm very sure they're incredibly rare from them. It's just a shame that on this version, the Mega Crush really doesn't have a very good use. Okay, so beer containers, yeah. I've found none in beer containers so far, which is pretty sad. I know you can find like a really big cluster of them in them, but you usually find like one or two of them. But sadly, I've not found any, but probably because I usually avoid containers just because of the fact that it's the only if you're looking in them, then you're just really looking for something to drink when you're really desperate for some moisture for your character. I will just loot these. Also, ends early out of the world, then refresh it. If you guys ask what I'm doing right now, I'm just moving the I just have actual ability into a completely different chest. I should have put some food. It's too bad there was no burn victims. I will just be a reminder though to I'll be with you. I think the only thing that people really remember Advil is just because of the big hospital. That's the only reason I really remember it, is literally just the hospital. But other than the hospital, I really just use it back in kids where you know what's going. Also that I hit him in the head, and he still keeps running. They really need to change the way the zombies oh, well, I don't know why I'm saying that. They probably already did change that. But even then, they probably didn't actually change it. So zombies still keep hitting you, even if you hit them and stun them while they're right next to you. Yeah, I don't take kindly to that. I don't take kindly to a dog deciding what to go around is. Just get a free fucking cheap shot. Fuck you. I did spend all my skill points on getting a skill up. May have been medicine, but it was probably something else. Yeah, that's not worth waiting on. This one has latency. Beautiful. Also, you probably already know why there's cracks on the box. I'll just let you know, Obergus was close with getting the wellness up the pill, because he now close to it with the food. And of course, whenever there's a dog, there's a white. I'd like to think that the blood bags I get from the nurse zombie is her own blood before she was. There come on, you got your cheeky little hidden. Yeah, the game is taking this well. I will just have a little runway to fuck him in the head. No, you got an extra bullshit hit on me. There you go. Yeah, I just good. Yeah, I hit them as well as they're the easiest way to break the mini bike. If you just park the mini bike on top of it, it'll just destroy it. And when it destroys it, it breaks every single part on it. Because it can just sit on top of a cactus by accident without you even noticing. You can take the initial bit of damage if it gets behind you. But anytime you're in the desert and you get off in the next to a trader's area, ensure that the mini bike is safe. Or at least that there's no cactuses near it. Okay, the hold's pretty much over since it's now sending more victims than anything else. It seems I've only really started perking up now that I've started streaming. But of course it's been slow. It's been pretty slow initially since literally the stream has just begun. And I am still feeling sick. If there's one next to a trader, you can destroy kill a zombie, and punch its body down, punch the object you want, then the body, and it'll just give you. Or if you get lucky, you won when you're out and about. I'll be honest with you. Probably having bedrock is probably the worst idea. I've got the feeling that you can't break it. don't want you sitting there when you die. Yeah, the thing is though, let's say you put it in a spot where you really don't want it, and then it's just the case that you can't get rid of it. Like let's say you got one of course at the bedrock layer, which of course it's gonna be easy to get it. If you accidentally place it on the bedrock layer, that means that's just there now. Then you won't have that nice smooth bedrock. Yeah, this hold is pretty much done. Welcome to the stream, whoever has just joined. Beautiful, two more. I love how charred meat is the food of choice for hordes. Yep, I fucking heard that second set of footprints. Just back up, just give myself a good bit of space on them. Okay, still 3-shot kill. And military gloves, fantastic. Damn. Okay, I should have at least a 50% chance of getting one piece of hazmat here. It's reinforced with stainless steel because of the Icky. Eventually the entire thing is going to be stainless steel. I probably should have had the surface just be steel. Just because it's darker, but even then, with the stainless steel, it does actually serve a purpose as it illuminates the area better. Because even when I'm in my base, when I have lights on, it reflects the light easier. Believe it or not. First one of you, and you have it, and you're armed. Oh yeah, not dealing with you. I don't deal with dogs that decide that they're just gonna constantly do the same fucking attack. Beautiful. Good job, you fat bastard. Yeah, I'm not gonna fuck around with the cops when I see them. I'm just gonna unload an attack clip into them, or at least until they die. Yeah, your area is good for the horde because it's just a giant fucking pit. But even then, if zombies fall down and die, I'm assuming they keep carrying that momentum when they die. So it's just a case that you just automatically just lose the loot. I'm one for maximizing all of the loot I can get from a horde. Military helmet. I can see better when I kneel or stand. Okay, I know where you're gonna go. That's the greatest gratification I could ever get from a fucking dog, is whenever I fucking just get the chance to just destroy its body before it finishes making sound, so I could cut it off. Yeah, you don't get an extra hit. Well, it's very nice knowing that cops will just decide when they spawn. So when I do see it, it's always just the case that, okay, the cop is already fucking there. Also, double flashlight. Literally, that copper was that kind of copper that you see in the fucking movie that just go around with two flashlights for some reason. And for some reason holds it way next to his head for some reason, as if he's trying to use his head as if he's trying to use the flashlight as an attachment for his head. Would there not be a need for concrete, or is it just for the fact that the zombie bodies won't spawn? Rad, do zombie corpses even like turn into these on the on Bedrock, or do they just be like in the, like how they do with the traders? Does the zombies' bodies, all the ones that turn into the zombie remains, does that disappear on the bedrock layer, or does it stay? Or is it like the traders? Or is it like the traders, where the body just disappears altogether and doesn't leave anything behind? So it doesn't leave zombie bodies behind. Wah. Yeah, I see you fat bitch. Another white. Your mega farm won't be grown because the majority of it will be deloaded. If not, the entire thing is deloaded because you're in a because it's not loading that section properly. That's why having distant train load in helps, because it'll tell you exactly where the area deloads. Okay, yeah, I'm just popping the dream combo. No, it has to be physically loaded in. It has to be within your currently rendered area. But if it's being incredibly slow and if your world is lagging, it's most likely the case that since they go off a timer, the world lagging means that those probably aren't going anywhere near as fast as you think they are. They're probably even slower because of the fact that they may be lagging. No, you may think it's not lagging, but it'll be an internal lag that causes things to stutter. And you did say you have mega structures as well, and if you're looking if your mega farm is in a particular area that's lagging, or that can cause lag, it'll be the case that I just won't go because of that. And now the horde's over, but there's a cop. No wonder it's true. Is it laggy in that area when you go over there? Because I do know some things that do cause lag on some days. One of those is very well grown trees, like adult trees. Are you at your monument currently? Because if you're somewhere really far away doing a lot of work and you go back and nothing's grown, that's because of the area being unloaded. It's because places that have plants growing or things growing at all needs to be loaded in for it to actually work properly. Because if those areas aren't loaded in, it will not grow anything. Because they need to be near you. They need to be physically in the world. You need to be able to physically see them, have them spawn in. No, you don't need to AFK at your base. If you have anything if you have anything small that you need to do around your base, do it when you're at your base, where your farm is. Because you don't need to necessarily AFK. You just need to be around long enough and do things either in your base or get skills up or do things that require you to be around the area or do some cleanup. Even doing cleanup will help. I wonder how long that's been sitting there maxed out for. But no, you don't need to AFK your base. You can be active and around your base. But I can see what you mean though, how it makes you think that you need to AFK your base, but you don't. The thing is, it takes around, what I'd say you do, if you do AFK your base, have a timer set so you go back every like 5-10 minutes. To see how far along the plants are, because if you can get a good time frame of how long it takes for them to grow, and then you can be around the base for that particular amount of time only. And then have your plants grow. And then you'll be able to go do other things. I hear a screamer. I smell her stink. Yeah, if it's still remaining stage 1 after 30 in-game days, then something's very wrong, and you may need to replant. Because if it's not fertilized, it would still grow. But if you fertilized it, then then I really don't know what to say, considering that it should have been grown during that time. But it all needs to be loaded. If you're wanting to get a giant haul of corn from your entire field, you will need to remain around that area. But it just needs to be loaded, and you just need to be able to see it on screen without it unloading. But yeah, you getting no yield at all in 30 days is concerning, but it's most likely the case that the area just isn't being loaded in for the very amount of time that it wants to be loaded in for. And that won't be your fault or the game's fault. It's just the case of that. It's just the case that that's how it is. Because I learned that during times where I played the game, from my time playing the game. Okay, since it's saying fertile soil here, I'm assuming it's literally grass, a grassy ground. Considering that's the only thing it can grow on, which is obvious. But it's gonna come down to where you are as well. So let's actually with that I can actually use a little example for this. So we'll quickly leave the base and grab the mini bike and quickly drive. I'll give you an example of this. Once I get up here, I'll load a house in and I'll use that house as an example. There should be a house just along here. Do you see this house here, how it just loaded in? Do you see how that house just there just loaded in? From here, it'll be loaded in, but if you back up enough, it'll deload. It takes a bit more distance to deload it. Well, let's quickly turn around properly. You see, even though I'm slightly farther away now, it's still loaded in, because once it's loaded in, it'll stay there. But after a certain distance, it'll deload. If your crops are doing that, when you're getting too far away, you need to stay within that zone. Because once the crops do what that house just did, they will no longer grow. But once you get close enough, they'll pop back in, and then they'll start growing again. It may take them longer, or even a lot longer. But if they're all trying to grow at once, then it may be the case that the game doesn't know how to get them all to just spontaneously grow at once, or it's not growing any of them. But once again, if it unloads like what it'll do now, once it does that, they won't grow at all. But so you need to be just close enough to where they load in, but not far enough as to where they will unload like what the house did, and how it just reloaded just now. The house being loaded in means that the house will continue what it's doing. But unlike with the houses, when plants unload, they will stop doing what they're wanting to do. But with the house, when it deloads, it'll allow loot to respawn. But think of that concept, but it's the complete opposite with the plants. When it's unloaded, it will no longer restock that loot. What you could do instead, if one mega farm doesn't work, build many small farms in areas that you know you will be. Then when you leave those areas, then go over and check on them to see if they've grown. Because I have a feeling that a mega farm may be causing them all to not grow at all, because of the fact that they're all trying to go all at once. But I could be wrong about that. I'm not quitting the game, by the way. I'm just resetting the block durability back to 100. But yeah, even for veteran players of the game, there will always be things that you won't know, and that's one thing that I had to learn myself, because when I was much younger and dumber at the game, I didn't know that. I always thought that no matter where you were, the crops would grow anyway. But no, if you're close enough to the area, they will grow. But if you're too far away, they won't grow at all. So you just need to be mindful of it. If you aren't able to just stay at your base and just get things done while you're still playing, because it should take around half an hour. That's just a rough estimate for them to grow. And if they don't grow in multiple in-game days, then something has gone very wrong. From digging up the soil, I don't think so. You may be able to if you use the hoe and actually destroy the ground with the hoe. But if not, I'd probably say set up like two full chem benches, or just have a ton of fertilizer already going. Like if you don't have fertilizer already done, don't use the cement mixer, use the chem bench. The chem bench is the friendliest, cheapest option for the fertilizer. Especially if you're making your own ammo. Use the chem bench. Or unless you just have a ton of soil, rotten flesh, or just having a massive excess of fucking nitrate powder. But I would still recommend probably using the chem bench, since the chem bench just requires human shits, 1 human shit, 3 soil, and I think 3 nitrate powder. Better to probably use the chem bench for it, just because it takes less overall. It takes a lot more at the cement mixer. It takes 3 times more dirt, 10 times more rotten flesh, and 0.5 times more nitrate powder. So it's better if you have the ability to make another chem bench, make another chem bench and use 2 of them. But as I said, it's entirely up to you what you want to go for. It is faster at the chem bench, but it is cheaper. Oh wait, no. It is faster and cheaper at the chem bench than it is at the cement mixer. But you can use both. It really doesn't matter. But you just gotta be mindful about the amount of resources you'll be using if you use the cement mixer. Yes, you can get a lot of fertilizer. You can even pre-prepare, make a ton of it, and have it sitting there waiting to be used. I should have a bunch in here, but apparently I don't. Apparently I must have unmade it. Go on, Rad. What do you want to say? That is a screw mat above. No, wandering horde. That's fine. Yeah, I'll just let them approach me. But yeah, if you have any other questions about anything you're uncertain of, or just are confused about, I may know. Like even miscellaneous things about skills, since I do know a lot about the skills. Yes. I've encountered ghost blocks before. Not all that often, but well, very rarely, but still, I think I've encountered like one or two of them. Wouldn't surprise me though if it was early, if it was earlier in the in-game play when I played the game earlier, and wasn't as smart at it. I think that can happen with water blocks. But I mostly get very little knowledge on ghost blocks since, as I said, if I have encountered them, then I mostly do have a little bit of knowledge on them. But it's most likely the case, even though I did say even though I did say yes that I didn't know. But it also could be the case that I'm just talking an absolute bunch of shit and I've never seen any. But if I did have knowledge of them and I forgot. Just because how rarely I encounter some things. I may have had it happen before, but I don't remember though. I would need to see an actual in-game example of it for us to remember. Because no matter how much you'd be able to explain it to us, I probably wouldn't be able to remember unless I actually saw an actual instance of it. Yeah, you probably should have some trees around, but don't have too many. Because having too many around, especially when they're fully grown, can cause insane lag. especially if they're closer together. Because it causes their leaves to interact, and it causes insane amounts of lag. Because you probably don't realize it now, but anytime I look this direction, the game does slow down slightly. Once they all start growing up, those trees, anytime I look at that direction, especially towards the leaves, it'll start lagging really badly. It'll lag even more if you have other people playing with you. Because when there's multiple players in a world, if you look in the direction where that player is located, the game will start actively lagging because it's loading in more terrain than what the game wants to load in. But yeah, always make sure you have some trees nearby, since you'll always need the wood from them. But make sure you just don't have too many like what I have. Because what I will most likely need to do is actually go around my entire area and look for the care packages, you know, the supply drops, and grab those. Because if there's too many of those around, it can cause performance issues for the game. It can and will cause the game to have less performance, or at least performance issues. Because no matter how good your console is, have too much loaded on this game, and it could be a pretty dire situation for your world. But yeah, again, if you have any more questions about anything related to the game, if I'm able to give a satisfactory reply to it, then I will. Also, as well, here's another a good thing to keep in mind. Player blocks. If you mean the land claim blocks, those take damage over time. If you have your world set to multiplayer and PvP settings on, those blocks will just naturally take damage. So if you're planning on going to PvP, have it set so the land claim blocks take as little damage as possible. Blocks at the player place. I think so. Like if it's actually just physical, just straight up blocks that you place is suddenly disappearing. That can. I've not managed to nail that one down. But it's most likely just in case that certain spots just are bugged, and it would probably require to replace the ground block you're placing it on. But if the block is disappearing suddenly, like it's out of nowhere, and other blocks are being damaged, that's probably because a zombie has spawned in the wall and has destroyed the block. Ah! No, that's a world generation thing. Because it happens, because it can happen with any structure. It happens most frequently in the wasteland and the burnt grass biome. It gets very frequent in those biomes where it'll only spawn a chunk of the building because it's trying to load multiple things in and it just deletes them. If your friend is building in areas that had structures already there, then the terrain is bugged and may destroy structures without even giving them an indication that they've been destroyed. Because it won't even leave remains, because it'll try replacing it with the actual structures that are meant to be there, but it'll just destroy them. That kind of thing, you probably can't do anything about it. You could try destroying all the blocks down to bedrock, but I'm very sure with how worlds generate, some areas are just really badly bugged, and where it'll just completely destroy blocks and won't leave anything behind. That'll just be an issue of world generation. A dam, as in a water dam. If so, that'll most likely be a thing with water as well, as water is notoriously a buggy block because water is technically counted as a block. Yeah, since it's a water dam, it'll be that there'll be other things involved as well because their water physics is really broken, like not good broken. It's a really poor thing to ever build with water. If you're gonna do anything with water, keep it simple. Yeah, if that person, yeah, since water of course is a block, but it's best to be stored in buckets. But the thing is, when you dump it out of buckets, the water changes its properties altogether. Water blocks are needed to actually generate the pools of the world. Which is pretty obvious, because if you didn't, then the majority of the world really wouldn't spawn in properly. But even then, if anyone is managing to get water blocks to stay, that's a really poor sign, because that means that water could disappear at any point and destroy any work that they've done. Certainly, if it's creative mode as well. If it's certainly creative mode things, then there's a really good chance that those blocks will not be around for very long. Because as I've said, water really is not a good block to be building with at all. And I would highly advise really ever doing anything complicated with water. Like, because even in creative mode, even if you're making proud structures that you're really proud of in creative mode, if it's not already generated, there's a really good chance that it could bug out. And it'll be an incredibly high chance So it's always to keep things simple with water. But even then, the best thing you can do is just hope that you have a water source nearby that's big enough to replenish itself. Because if it doesn't self-replenish, then it's going to be a nightmare to do. Yeah, if you see, if you've used buckets to fill that, then that should be fine. Yeah, if you've used buckets to place it, then that water will just most likely just eventually just destroy itself. Since it's water, so it'll do its own thing. But if it's actual if it's the actual water block being placed, then there's a good chance that it's mostly a bugged block. But it's also as well, Rad. Keep in mind there are bugged characters. And the reason I'm using the current female one, it's Grace, because she's not bugged. Because if the person that you're playing with is using possibly a bugged character, it could corrupt stuff and destroy stuff. So if your friend is using a corrupt character, that's why those blocks are being destroyed, is because those blocks are corrupt blocks at that point. And the game will automatically destroy blocks that are corrupted. Yeah, he should be fine. I'm very sure the majority of the bugged characters are the female characters. So it's best to be very careful when you're playing as a bugged female character, since if the character bugs out, that could result in you losing a lot of progress. If not, it could completely corrupt your game. Because that's how bad the corrupted characters are. Because those corrupted characters could easily destroy your entire world, meaning you'd have to destroy that, which would mean you'd have to completely dispose of that world and start completely fresh. But you just gotta make sure they don't do anything too stupid within your own world as well, because if you do something too stupid, you could also corrupt your world that way. Which, once again, no player wants to accidentally corrupt their own world. So once again, gotta always keep these things in mind. And if you aren't sure what character is and who isn't bugged, I'd probably suggest looking it up. Because I'm certainly not the best person to say who is bugged, because it's been so long since I was told that information that I've forgotten the majority of it. But I know Grace is not bugged. Because you gotta choose a character that isn't bugged. Because if you choose a bugged character, as I've already repeated multiple times, which I don't want to keep doing it, but I will until it sticks. If a character is bugged, that once again it could result in your world being completely corrupted. weapon smith in his max. That's beautiful. Because that means now I should be able to actively repair this and lose very little durability on it. I should be able to do it now, actually. Yeah, only lost 5 durability on the machete now, which I am I'm much happier to be willing to deal with than losing a ton of it. I should be able to actually max this out with it. Beautiful. The thing is, probably the only place you're gonna find diamond in the entire game is in the desert. Considering, as you saw from the last time I streamed the game, how much ore there was most likely diamond in there in that cluster. You see, I would go mine more, but I need to go around the entire map and collect all of the loose crates. Because if I don't collect them, eventually the game will just completely crash and be unplayable on this world. And I would be highly likely to want to still play this world. But yeah, if you're just getting diamond just for selling purposes, I would just suggest going for everything else. Go for anything else. Yeah, probably the best you can do is find a cave, find a naturally generated cave. You know, one of the bear caves. Look for one in the desert. Not the one not the ones that have the Tarzan stone axe. You're looking for an actual generated proper fucking bear cave, like the ones that lead real deep underground. Because you're probably going to explore those, but you will most likely need to bring things with you to light up the area. And what you're probably going to end up doing is mining up every single bit of ore that you see, since it's really difficult to find what is diamond ore and what isn't. It should have that kind of cave if you look around long enough. As I have driven into multiple caves in Navezgane. Since you're in the desert, it'll make it a bit easier. But if there really isn't any of those caves, then all you can really do is just dig down in the desert. But you'll mostly need to have it be a pretty big area. Since it is since those kind of stuff do spawn in the world, as you saw on my world. But if you're very sure that Navezgane doesn't have those types of generations, you'll need to just dig in the desert. But make sure you find a really good flat zone to dig in, because any other spot is notorious for being really uneven with the terrain layout. But with how much you've spoken about how much you've dug up, this shouldn't be much of an issue. That's why that part isn't maxed. And first max level sniper rifle. Then this beautiful thing could be added to the collection. Sniper rifle parts. Rad, it's fine. It's fine that English isn't your first language. You can make as many mistakes as you want. I'll be honest with you, your English is much better than most English speakers, since most English speakers willingly make spelling mistakes actively. I won't be the first one to say this, but I'll say it anyway. You make more of an effort into the English language than most English people do. If you're curious as to why I'm making another steel pickaxe, it's just for the fact that the current one is as you can see, very damaged, and I'd prefer to not have to sacrifice a high level one to fix it. The electric lights, but it depends on which one you're using, and it also depends on what the block level is, because reinforced steel blocks shine more light. Because I'm currently using mainly these. I would have had 4, but I accidentally picked up the rebar frame on one of them, so I ended up taking a lot of damage. So I ended up falling and being destroyed. You can use these. You can use these lights here for particularly spots like here. But you want to use these lights for spots that can cover a good little chunk. You can have 4 of them on, but if you don't want to deal with light issues, turn your own flashlight off. Because if you have all of them on, and the flashlight, it'll blind you. It shouldn't affect performance all that much, but just make sure you don't have too much happening all at once. With how much strain your world's mostly already under, you can test it yourself. Cause since my world is really not under much of a performance strain for what I'm doing, so I really can't say myself. Oh, that's sad, man. I was actually expecting to fix a lot more of it. Ah, if you wanted to let if you actually, I've got a question for you. Well, now that it's brought up, Are you wanting to light up the entire outside of it as well? Because if so, I would say drop that dream of lighting up the entirety of the outside of it, since that's not happening. Since you'll need an absurd amount of lighting by the time you even finish placing all of the light sources, the game will most likely be under incredible constraints. Because if the plan is to light up the entire skyscraper, please do not do that. Because it's just going to cause a really bad performance issue. Because that would be very detrimental to the game's performance. If you were to have the entire skyscraper lit up, if that's what the plan is. Yeah, if you're planning on just lighting the interior, be strategic about where you place the lights, because those lights can light up a lot if you give them the chance to. But if you just want lighting around it as well, you can use the lamppost lights, because you can make them here. I'll show them to you. Ceiling light. The ceiling light O2 would be a good option. The regular ceiling light, I don't think I'd recommend. You can use the industrial light because it lights a small area in front of it. But if you plan on having a street, do the street light, but that requires making it out of forged steel. Yeah, if you're just doing a massive skyscraper for the sake of it having it also lit up as well, you can have lights in it. It's just it may put up a bit of a performance issue since you're going to world height as well. What I would suggest you do for it, make a bunch of pillars first, all the way up to the world limit. Even if you have to break your legs for it. Yeah, you would have to do it just because there are certain parts of the terrain that will not allow you to place blocks down after a certain height. And also, since you're also making a mega skyscraper as well, probably a good idea to also you do have the resources, but it'd be quite a setback if you end up losing a lot of progress. Probably be a good idea to actually see if your world could even handle having it even constructed in the first place. I was gonna say something different, but I'd forgotten what I was gonna say. The padlock's damaged, but nothing I can't handle on it. Yeah, since it's full point, it should be fine. Just do some groundwork tests first, though, because you don't want to suddenly be building and have the entire thing collapse because of the terrain, because the actual ground itself Because even though let's say I built a pillar from from bedrock all the way up to the skylight from here. Suddenly through that it could just collapse. But if you did it here, and for some reason it would just let you go all the way up to the skybox happily and down to the bedrock layer. Yeah, that should be fine. But just be careful anyway, since if it breaks and it collapses, then you'll most likely be pretty upset considering that it did collapse. Oh, my character's thirsty. I'm also only going out with me spike club and machete just because I need to follow through and grabbing just the chests. I'll be honest, I would love to believe you, but I personally think no matter how big a structure is, it's still capable of completely collapsing on itself. So please, even if you're going with the confidence, always have it in the back of your mind that it could collapse. Because having too much confidence will be more detrimental than anything. Don't get us wrong, it's nothing against your 7 Days to Die skill, it's just with how the game generates worlds. Because it can generate beautiful areas that you can build, that you think are really good to build, but then it just all suddenly collapses on you. It'll crumble all your work, and you won't know, and you won't have a clue what did it, and you mostly won't even bat an eyelid if it, or even think that the game did it. Also, that Scott Zombie scared the fuck out of us. But yeah, but even though you mostly have the skill to build, please put support pillars in. Cause I know from personal experience, if you don't have enough support in, it will collapse. And you've most likely went through that yourself, considering that you do come off as being the builder. Because I'm less of the builder, but I will build if necessary, or if I think it's needed. Or if I just think that I have plenty of resources for it. But if you're curious, yes, today is the day where I go around grabbing all the treasure chests. All the supply drops. Since there are a lot around this world. I will take those pills since it's part of the stuff in the inventory. But also, I'd like to say again, if you have more questions that you think I could answer, then please ask. I'm very open to you asking questions, because that means I'm talking more and interacting more, and the stream isn't just sitting without anything happening in between me going places on the minibike, or even killing zombies during hordes. I'll say it again, since I'm not sure if you heard or not, but I'll gladly say it again. If you have any more questions about 7 Days to Die or about 7 Days to Die, please ask, because if you aren't sure about things that have happened in your worlds that have happened, ask us. I may have an answer for to those questions that you have. That's a bear. Buddy, your days are fucking numbered. Well, if I don't number me own. What? Where'd that other bear go? There it is. Hey, fuck you. Okay, hit him. I can't remember. I don't really keep an eye on how many hours I've played. But the longest I've ever played for on a world is 1 in-game year. Is that being called? I hear the zombie. If there's a way to look at how many hours I've had in 7 Days to Die, then I will look at it. But I don't think I will be able to do it while I'm streaming though. Oh, we're there. "49 hours, 30 minutes. That was probably from one before my last death. Here is me PSN ID. But yeah, my PSN's right here, so. So it maybe tells how many hours I have in the game. Also, the machetes, yes, specifically so I can harvest bodies. I really wasn't expecting to finish the entire bears challenge like that, to be honest with you. Wow, but I didn't reactivate farm. Yes, the ugly stick. Well, let's quickly show you. Afterwards, there's like a little dash, and then there's the and then there's that bottom line. There's like that little dash and that little dash, then the line at the bottom. You need to put those in, otherwise it may not come out properly. Because it may bring up a different name. Will come up with a different user, and you may think it's me, but it won't. Yeah, just letting you know, the world where I've had over a year of gameplay on, that's not on this one. Because it's on my sister's account, that particular world. Thanks, Ma. But yeah, I can say I probably have 1,000 hours in 7 days a day. I probably have just over 1,000 hours. Yeah, I don't really have an alternate account. I did, but I didn't remember the stuff for it since I used it so little. And this is my main account since it has all my stuff on it. Also, just letting you know, I could take on a bear, by the way, even with having 100 base health. It would just be the case that I would need to use the sledgehammer instead. Just because of the sledgehammer hitting for much more aggressive damage. And I'm also only going for the animal bodies, since it helps level up the bladed weapon skill. And that's the only reason why I have the knife on us. And to also harvest dogs. Yeah, I would say turn that down, since on insane difficulty the zombies just are just bullet sponges. They won't die even to the AK-47, and they will not die to the RPG anymore. They will no longer be one shot even if hit directly in the body. And at that point, you need to rely exclusively on just dismembering them, and it's not worth it. Please turn the difficulty back down to what it was, just for game quality's sakes. Buddy, I may be a Dark Souls fan. Well, I'm an Elden Ring fan. I don't think many people would really consider that Souls, but even then, it's still really a fucking difficult game. You may enjoy difficulty, but having to sit there for ages just wailing on something that isn't actually of of a completely different make it doesn't give the same aspect that gives like Dark Souls would. It's not capable of it. It's not capable of giving that same feel. As with Souls games, it puts you completely on guard the entire time you're playing. While with 7 Days to Die, it's more of a case of, okay, gotta get this shit done, gotta kill these, gotta go somewhere else. But even then, but even then, if you're finding it too easy, then you can't. Then of course you can't turn it up. But just please never set them to run. Running just isn't fun. Because literally, if you turn the zombies on to run, yeah, you have to set the difficulty back to scavenger difficulty, so the zombies just aren't hitting you hard because of the fact that the zombies will always be up in your face. And it's not fun dealing with zombies when they're running. Even on scavenger difficulty, it just makes it very frustrating to deal with. Because if I was to choose if I had to deal with one or the other, I would choose insane difficulty without runners instead of dealing with scavenger difficulty with runners. Because yeah, the zombies aren't going to hit hard, but they're gonna continuously be hitting you. Yeah, I'll be honest, that just wouldn't be fun. Cause just for the fact that zombies always run and on insane difficulty as is, which means any zombie you would encounter, you would need to literally kill from a distance, or you would need to have an absurd amount of ammo for. As even hitting them, most likely even hitting them with the sledgehammer, with max skill, 100 skill, maxed ultimate skills, with the level 600, it wouldn't. I'll be honest with you. I'm very sure it nerfs the damage of spikes as well. I'm actually gonna abandon the minibag for now since I kind of need to go to the toilet. This house shouldn't have any zombies, and I should be able to get onto the roof. Come on. There you go, updated, there you go, I'm on the roof now. Okay, so I'll be back in a minute. I'm sorry for the absolute lack of stuff in the meantime, but I really need to go to the toilet and go get this room downstairs, so I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I didn't get the food because turns out that I have very low energy. I really don't want to be moving. Like I don't want to move at all. Actually, do you know what? Since I've said that, I'm actually gonna lean back and relax. Since I have such low energy, I'm probably I may end the stream a lot earlier than what I normally do. Just for the fact that like I've said, I have incredibly low energy from the fact that I'm recovering from being fucking from having a really bad sore throat. Like it was really bad yesterday. I just hurt from the fact that I was speaking very little. But even then, I will probably stream since I did start streaming very late today. So I will probably continue this for like an hour or two more. Since I do want to have a schedule about how long I stream. But I certainly don't want to miss a day of streaming since I have plenty of days where I don't have to stream. But I still play games because guess what, that's the thing that I like doing. I like playing games. And I like streaming, so may as well do both together. I would zoom in the game so I could see it better, but I like being able to fucking to chat as well. And what I'll probably try doing is try mixing it up each week. So on the Tuesday next week, I'll probably stream on YouTube. And then on the Thursday, I'll stream on Twitch. No, actually, no. I could probably keep a consistent schedule between the two. Okay, since I'm streaming on YouTube today, the next time I stream it'll be on Twitch. Oh, it doesn't actually fluctuate. So every other week is a YouTube on a separate day. Which I'm more than fine with having. Since natural fluctuation is nice. I will just try these, but it's really not worth the effort. I'm only going this way because I know there'll be some drops this way. And I really should probably try having a much stronger presence on Twitter. Since I've started having an incredibly weak presence there again. Because the only time I really do anything is whenever I'm sending notifications for live streams. That's fine, Rad. The more interaction to be had, the better. I would look at it on the stream, but that can't happen since you know with how PlayStation operates, it doesn't allow you to show the actual PlayStation menus. I didn't mean to loot all this stuff, so we'll actually just drop it. it's a shame that on Twitch though that I don't have this kind of interaction all too much because of the false advertisements shit. They shouldn't force advertisements when people join the stream. Real TV doesn't do that. There's usually an advert when you join because that's during the time when there's an advert. All Twitch does is enforce adverts to play. Not a good idea for me to just go into the wasteland while my body's still recovering. I can't deal with being aware. Also, hopefully one day I would be able to stream me some me mobile games. Just that's probably got to wait until I have an actual PC. I should probably ask my cousin to see if me and him can get a deal going about his old PC, since I would actually like to get that. Since it'd be a nice good starter PC for us to have. Since I want this to be my job. I want streaming to be the thing I do. Since I love interacting with people online. Unless they're arseholes, and then I'll gladly be a cunt. Demonetizes YouTube, do it. Guess what? I'm gonna keep saying cunt. You cunt. Okay, I can't just be lying down. I will follow the road, since I really, like I've already said, I don't want to end up driving over a landmine while I'm in this state, because I'm probably gonna end up immediately panicking and running into one immediately afterwards. And the reason I'm doing all of this is specifically for those drops. Gotta remember, I need to go pick them up, because if I don't go pick them up, then it's gonna be the case that if I leave it for too long, the game will just crash. The void biome. Could you describe that for us, please? Yeah, I'm incredibly sick, man. I'm incredibly sick. Okay, 1 second. I'm assuming the void zone is the bit that's off the map from the radiation zone, I'm assuming, yes. Because if so, I've been in it in creative mode, but I've not been in it in survival mode. And I don't think I will, considering it sounds really bad. But even then, I've probably been deep into it before, and it's pretty much just a radiation zone. Yeah. Yeah, I've been in. Well, it's less black on the map more than just not mapped at all. The destroyed the actual blocks. The blocks of stone, or you mean an actual stone field where it's just a field of actual mineable stones? You know, like these ones. Cause if it's this, then yes, I've been into it. It's literally just a radiation zone. It just keeps going. Yeah. I thought I was having into the radiation zone. But I'm glad I was fucking wrong. Yeah, it's just a radiation zone, but it just keeps going. It's not mapped. Because they don't want the player going in there anyway. But really, the only reason you would ever go in there is if you somehow completely mind out your world. But yeah, I've been deep into that biome in creative mode. There's really nothing in it. Yeah, usually people when people have absurdly high days, they've either skipped the time after a certain point because they must learn the commands, or just have very low time days and just let their console or PC just sit for a few weeks. Because I'll be honest, no one could actually go for that amount of time without getting bored. Because I would get very bored of a world after a certain point if I was just doing that. All of his map was in buildings. Rad, could you say that bit again, please? I would like to say I understood that. I kind of do, but I would like a little bit of clarification on that, if you don't mind. Oh, no, I know what that is. It'd be the case that they were on PC and they used custom generations. I'm very sure there's a mod customizer that allows you to customize the world. If it was console and the guy had skyscraper bases all over the map, so much so that I covered the entire map, then that person has too much time on their hands and there's no way they did it alone. They would need a massive team of people to pull something like that off. Even if the person had proof for it, that'd be incredibly difficult to pull off, and it wouldn't be worth the time investment. It wouldn't benefit anyone. It wouldn't benefit anyone at all. But no, I can guarantee there's no way that person did it by themselves. It wouldn't be possible to do it by yourself. The thing is, they would need to show the entire process of it. Otherwise it really isn't credible. They would need to show a lot of proof that they did all of that, and they would most likely need to stream it, because someone just simply saying that they've done it doesn't mean it's credible at all. So it's the case that it really isn't credible unless you have outstanding amounts of proof for it. The thing was, no matter what setups and layouts he says he did, he needs video evidence, because people can't just go off of word of mouth. Because sadly, in the end, outstanding amounts of evidence won't mean anything if there's no video evidence to back it up. That's just sadly how it is. The thing was that they would initially need to show everything. They can't just show bits and pieces. Once again, they need to show absolutely everything to get up to that point. The thing is, that's an insanely bold claim, considering to remove every single original block in Dyersville, he would most likely need to mine up every single block or ensure that everything collapsed. Sadly, what I'd say you do here, bud, is take what the person said with a grain of salt. Do you know if the person had help or not? Because if the person actually had help with it, then it's possible. Do you know how much help the person had? The thing was, them deciding to not record, to only record when he was alone, was kind of a bad idea. As it sadly it makes it comes off as less credible now. Even if there was drama stuff happening, it's best to record it to record it how it all was going, or how it went. Because that's how he ends up leaving a lot of questions that can't be answered. Hub City? What's the Hub City? But if it was a random generation hub city, then it couldn't have been navigated. Then if it had random generated structures in it. That's not how world generation. That's not how navigating world generation works. The thing is, no one needs a base that size, to be honest with you. And you would have too many resources on you, and you'd be too busy fighting other people to fucking to care about losing those resources. There's sadly a lot here that doesn't add up. Yeah, since it's a team, since it's a team of people, it's much more credible. But once again, sadly, it's the case of them being reluctant to record it, just because of other people helping. Sadly, puts it in a weird spot. But even then, I'm seeing all of this, and I've seen none of the evidence, so I'm kind of making an argument against it for no reason when I've seen nothing about it. So we should probably drop this argument against it, since for all I know, the proof you're talking about could be absolutely outstanding. Yeah, usually the map just end up looking insane because any changes that you make, as we all know, show up on the map. So if it's only stopping is I really need a drink. I feel really worn out. I would probably switch my game back over to Genshin Impact, but it probably won't really be me doing very much on it. But even then, probably not a good idea for us even swap games anymore anyway. Those people probably put in far too much effort to just remove all of that. And we gotta remember as well, it takes an absurd amount of resources to upgrade a good few blocks. And to produce roads, tons of roads, it requires oil shale. And I'm very sure it takes concrete mix and stones. Which would mean they took up a lot more, or they somehow got more resources into the world than what was already there. Which wouldn't surprise us, considering they can drop campfires and turn them into destroyed stones. Which does give more resources than what the campfire actually required. As it gives 11 stones and 8 sand. Yeah, it would be the case that they would always have people in there, or whenever they weren't doing much, they just pretty much AFK'd those. But even then, it's impossible to AFK things, considering that there'd be non-stop screamers, unless they had the zombies turned off. Which also is possible that they just had zombies turned off. Which would definitely make it easier, but it would also remove the actual survival aspect of the game. But even then, that's kind of the point of if we're planning on making a mega city. Yeah, they would also most likely need a building to fix tools as well, or to even produce a mega amount of tools. Since it's highly unlikely that they went out of their way to all use augers, because if they did, they would have to turn off the volume of the game because the auger sound is way too loud and it's too annoying. What is this? Yeah, that's what happens when it's a multiplayer world. Because if it's a multiplayer, survival multiplayer, unless it was creative mode, then. But if it was survival mode, then it would have took a lot. The thing is, since they're host, they should have the ability to remove players. They should have the ability to kick players. If there are players only there to grief, they most likely should just turn the block durability up. And if 20% of all the if all the POIs were destroyed, then there was most likely someone among his original group that was planning this from the beginning to destroy everything, and obviously they failed. And the thing is as well, they aren't able to say what 20% of the original POIs were, considering no player would go out their way to kill every single building. So I'll be honest with you, them being able to say confidently, or if they could say that they could confidently say that 20% of all the buildings were destroyed, that's something very fishy. But yeah, let's say they did fake all of it. It's impressive. It's impressive the lengths they took to try to fake something. by faking wars that were had in the server, just to have just to have giant just to make giant ultra structures. That is impressive in its own right. That how dedicated they were to trying to fake it, if they did fake it anyway. Oh yeah, yeah. From the sounds of it, just letting you know, cars are very buggy. If you try placing them inside one another, they will automatically explode. So what they most likely did, they most likely placed cars in a very tight configuration so they would all explode. Because when cars explode, it causes a lot of lag. Because the game lags a lot. Because especially when the vehicles, well, of course, when they explode, they send blocks outwards. But they most likely duplicated gas barrels as well. Because there are ways of duplicating a lot of items. Because you can duplicate items on corpses. Yeah. Sadly, Periston in Dyersville won't contribute to over 20% of all of the in-game all of Navis Games' structures. Because that just isn't possible for those two set areas to make up over 20% of the entire map's generated buildings. That just isn't possible. Because if that was 20% of all the structures in the map, that means that map is generated very small. And Navezgane isn't a simple map at all. You see, I may seem passionate about it right now, but even if it was to send as a fucking video link to it, I wouldn't look. I'll be honest with you, I'm far too lazy for that. But even then, the only time to me about looking at stuff like that is if I wasn't streaming at all, and if I wasn't spending a ton of time on YouTube. Since I used to have times where I used to binge hours on YouTube. Because if I think that's on YouTube, if it was a while ago, then I probably would have binge watched it. Probably watched the whole thing to the end. And now I remember what I leveled up in the air, me level working. But yeah, I really can't make the argument saying that it's fake, because you're the only one who has any evidence that could be real anyway. Well, for you, it definitely is real. So it mostly does exist. But even if it was all fucking faked and staged, it's just dedicated that they would go out of their way to fucking fix structures that they didn't even have in the first place. You know what? I'm gonna save me friends online. Just let you know, I will probably switch back over to Genshin Impact, but it'll probably just be the case of just chilling. Since I'll be honest with you, I don't have the capacity to continue playing 7 days a day. I will wait for this trader to open to sell him all of his stuff, of course, apart from the meat, since I'm gonna be keeping that. And anything that I don't want, I will probably keep this SMG since it's absolutely godly that I got it from a fucking drop. But I don't think I will continue playing 7 Days to Die. But I will definitely continue talking about it. But I will just be on Genshin Impact instead. Since I don't have the energy to keep playing 7 Days to Die, since 7 Days to Die just requires a lot more than what Genshin does. I would switch to Ark Survival Evolved, but Ark is pretty much the exact same as Genshin. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about the constant coughing. Rad in future, if me or you remember about this, and if I'm actually if I actually do streams that just require me to chat, then I will most likely gladly have you send a link to the video, and then I will get it up. Then I will get it up on stream, and I will gladly watch the video. It's just sad. It's just sadly right now. Literally, I'm probably gonna exclusively focus on obviously streaming content and not chatting, since I'll be honest with you, I don't have the viewership for that. And hopefully by the time I get a good PC setup, hopefully I'll be able to draw in a much bigger audience. And if I can, I will gladly have you send that video over. Since if I can get big enough on Twitch, and hopefully start earning money off of it, then that would be even better. And anyway, I can say that I trust you, Kiz and Ruby, enough to definitely have you as mods once I have a Twitch and stuff set up. Since it seems that older people are much better when it comes to being actual moderators of stuff over actual younger people. And if you are a younger person yourself, Rad, then that means you're a little tiny beacon among the generation. If we remember this in future, Rad, then I will gladly show it on stream. God damn it. Of course, my body's super phlegmy. What I'll do, Rad, for the sake of the video, I will be neutral about it, and I won't try to spin a fucking a fake argument against it, since I literally have no evidence like for that myself. So what I'm gonna do, actually, I'm gonna apologize about making the argument against the video, since I have literally no right to actually even comment on it. Come on, I heard that dog. Yeah, that dog despawned. Ugh. But yeah, this is my apology to you, Rad, for making that anti-argument against the video you saw. Considering that I had absolutely no right to argue with you, scrutinizing the video, since you're obviously a big fan of the video from watching it, and you're just expressing how big a fan you are of the video to me. Also, there was another dog that was meant to be coming over, but it just despawned. It despawned while I was going over to get it. Also, I will probably end up sneezing again, and then I'll probably end up being snotty again. So sorry. Yeah, what I'm actually gonna do now, Rad, I'm gonna quickly swap over to Genshin. I won't be ending the stream now, since I would say I'm feeling bad, but I'm really not. I need to continue to recover. So I'll reopen the stream in a second once I have Genshin loading in. So just hang tight and just rejoin as soon as the stream's back up.